This video is about the best Christmas tree I ever had. So, just fiddling with the light here to see what I can get. So, the best Christmas tree I ever had. It changes depending on the context. When Jane and I first moved out and we were living in an apartment, I insisted on having a real Christmas tree for our very first Christmas, having moved out and got married. So I was driving a green Dodge Polara 500 station wagon at the time, so it had a pretty good carrying capacity as far as cars go. So we went to the Christmas tree lot, and all the small trees were taken, and all they had was really huge trees, and just my luck, it was on sale because I had almost no money. So we bought this gigantic tree. I swear it was like 10 or 11 feet tall, and stuffed it in the back. It wouldn't fit in the car, so I had to grab it by the trunk and just yank it into the back of the station wagon. I think I had to leave the back swing door open, the tailgate door, driving home. Then we got it to our apartment, and same thing, I had to ram it all the way up in reverse, 6 flights. It was a 3-story walk up, so that's 6 flights of stairs, reversing it each flight. Got it into our door. I had to beat it to get into the door. Then we put it up. We had a stand, and of course it was way too tall for the ceiling, so it was scraping all that popcorn ceiling stuff off the ceiling. That's all over the floor. Put it up in a stand, and it looked amazing because it filled up like 1/3 of our apartment. And then we put a couple of ornaments on it, hardly anything because we didn't have any money. And our friends would come in, and they're all amazed. It's a gigantic natural tree, and the place smelled really nice. I mean, it was a natural pine tree, so it smelled like pine. And we had our Christmas, and everything was fine. And it was so much work getting it up, I didn't want to take it down. So I think all of January it stood there. Now, nobody told me, and I didn't know, that you're supposed to put a bucket of water in for the tree to suck up so that the needles wouldn't turn orange and fall off. So of course my friends are telling me, Kev, you got to put it in some water, else the needles are going to turn orange and fall off. And I said, well, the tree's going to die anyway, so it doesn't need its needles. So I ended up getting, I'm telling you, little dunes, like sand dunes. Oh, these were dunes of needles, pine needles, all over the carpet, which was, in those days, shag carpet was in style, but we didn't have shag because we had an old cheap apartment, and it still had this short cropped carpet from earlier, the 60s or whatever, I don't know. And all the needles were buried in there. Like we were walking on these piles of needles and just ground in the needles. I was there for months trying to pull needles out of the carpet. It almost ruined our vacuum cleaner. I didn't even know if we had a vacuum cleaner. We probably just swept it up with a broom. So I just about destroyed the carpet. And then the tree's all dead and even stiffer than when it was alive. So then I had to grab it by the trunk, and I think it was illegal to drop it off the balcony, but I dragged it all the way down the 6 flights of stairs. There's needles pouring off of this thing all the way down the stairs. And then I had to break all the branches, get it into, I don't know if we got it, I think I took it, oh yeah, they had a dumpster. Okay, a dumpster. So I threw it in a dumpster, filled up the entire dumpster. So the next Christmas, by then Mike was born, my son Mike, and I think it was the very next Christmas that I had really reduced my expectations of what a Christmas tree should be. So again, we went back to Army Navy, and it was in Christmas season again. So I went back to Army. I said, I do not want a natural Christmas tree. Went to Army Navy. Of course, they had Christmas trees for sale. Guess what? Artificial Christmas trees. To me, when I was growing up, having an artificial tree was considered a sin and you were going to go to hell. So I had to get over that. And in Army Navy, there was this cardboard box. It was probably about, 4 feet to 5 feet high, somewhere in there. And on the box, it had a picture of a Christmas tree and it had the best advertising ever. It said, artificial Christmas tree, no fuss, no muss, no bother. So it was being marketed directly to people like me who've had a bad traumatic experience with a real tree. And I'm just laughing my guts out at this advertising. Like, how sacrilegious and disrespectful can you be to say, no fuss, no muss, no bother. Ah, it's Christmas again. I gotta set up a tree. The damn relatives. Okay, so I grabbed this thing. I'm laughing all the way home. Can't wait to get out of the box. So I get it home, and not only was the advertising on the outside of the box a kick, but it had instructions. The instructions were as follows. Step number 1, remove from box. Step number 2, arrange branches in a lifelike manner. Step 3, decorate. So I loved that tree. I hugged that tree after I got it set up, and then me and Jane were just laughing, having a joyous Christmas, second Christmas, decorating the tree. And then we could put effort into actually decorating the tree, because by then we were 1 year richer. We could afford like 6 ornaments instead of 3. So we decorated it and we had a great time, and it was clean. So I think there's 2 greatest Christmas trees of all time. One when I first moved out, and the one I had the second Christmas since I moved out of my parents' place. Bye for now.